We know that stress is highly problematic to the human brain, developing or otherwise, but particularly for the developing brain. The human brain doesn't fully mature until in our third decade of life. In the first 4 or 5 years of life, the brain's very busy setting up its neural architecture. It's changing very rapidly. And stress elicits a powerful response which surges cortisol through the brain. And cortisol as a stress hormone can be very detrimental. The best thing parents can do if they're trying to identify if they see any stress in their children is to look for radical change in behavior. Whether if your child is typically a happy child and they've gone into this sort of lethargy and unhappiness in a very quick way, that would suggest that there's a measure of stress. And that's probably the biggest thing, and one of the things that parents get most attuned to, because parents know their kids better than anybody. And if you see a huge change in behavior suddenly, that's usually a sign that something's not going on very well for that child. Always keeping them back in mind that the most important thing for children is a degree of predictability, safety, and security. So anything that becomes unfamiliar to a child can prove stressful. So if a child goes to school for the first time, and that's the first time they've ever been in this environment, it's unpredictable, it's unknown, it can elicit a stress response. So what I often will say to parents is that as much as possible, you should try to make the unfamiliar familiar. So that when a child is having to engage in something that's different, they have a sense of what's going to happen, because it's that sort of thing that elicits a stress response. It's incredibly important for parents to set a calm demeanor and learn to manage stress in themselves well. Children are very good at perceiving their parental stress. They learn a lot by watching how people engage with the world around them and the body language they project. Probably the best thing parents can do if they feel their child is stressed, number one, is to try to work out what is stressing that child. I often say to parents, what you have to do is listen with intent. So you have to be very, very careful and try to talk to your child about if something's bothering them. Because when you talk to an adult about stress is kind of an esoteric concept. We all understand stress to some degree, but saying to a 4-year-old, are you stressed, is not going to get you very far. But if you say to a 4-year-old, are you feeling sad, are you feeling uncomfortable, is your stomach hurting, is something troubling you, is something bothering you, and then try to elicit that conversation. And you have to be very, very good listeners for them to tell you what it is. And the second thing is then, whatever that situation is, help deal with that by ensuring that that child is aware that regardless of whatever that is, they are safe, they are secure, and mom and dad or parents that are here or the caregivers are here to protect and take care of them. Because in the eyes of a child, predictability, safety, and security are paramount.